Welcome everyone to another episode with Idea Dudes. We're going to talk about Office 365, and my name is Michael Kraut. I'm going to be the facilitator for this short video, so sit back and enjoy yourself. So when you think about Office, you probably think about Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, but there's a new service that is offered by Microsoft. Everyone has heard of the buzzword called the cloud. There are different types of clouds that we have. They include the private and the public. The cloud has existed for years, and it's a bunch of data centers connected to each other. They present resources for companies so that they can conduct business. We use technologies such as VMware, Hyper-V, and also Zen Server to work on virtual machines. These virtual machines are usually servers. And so when you think of a cloud such as Office 365, this is known as a public offering. Now, the public cloud is just a bunch of data centers controlled by Microsoft. There are different types of offerings for the public cloud. So in this video, we're going to define Office 365 and its components. So looking at the different things that we're going to be talking about, we'll talk about the background of the public cloud. We'll be looking at Office 365 and applications. We'll look at Office 365 subscriptions, also planning Office 365, and we'll sign up for Office 365. And also look at the administrative portal and how we can administer Office 365 in our environment. So when someone says cloud, what do you think? Most people would think about clouds in the sky. Maybe you would think about Amazon or Microsoft. We said that the cloud is a bunch of data centers that are connected together, provide a service known as a private cloud. The public cloud is monitored by a company. Now, this could be Microsoft, it could be Amazon, and there's similar services that are out there. Amazon Web Services, for example, would be an example of a public cloud, and we have Azure, which is a public cloud, or Office 365. That's a public cloud for Microsoft. We also have Community Cloud, and this is a collaborative effort among different organizations that deal with different concerns like security, compliance, jurisdiction. And this can be managed internally or by a third party. This type of cloud services, the hybrid type of cloud services, utilizes both private and public cloud, provide distinct functions within the same organization. When you have a connection to a public cloud and also utilizes services within the private cloud, we'll talk about this later. And like I said, the private cloud is just a bunch of data centers connected to each other using some type of virtualization like Hyper-V, VMware, Zen Server are examples. So the cloud computing is defined by the NIST. And the NIST is the National Institute of Standards. And it's a model for enabling convenient on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources, which can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimum management effort or service provider interaction. There are actually three service models that we deal with. We have infrastructure as a service. This is where you load your own virtual machines in an environment such as Azure. You can also purchase machines from Microsoft or Amazon based on a template. And this is usually used to provide disaster recovery, also high availability. You can also do test environments or other uses. It saves on creating another data center, protected by redundancy in other regions of the world. Microsoft currently has over 100 data centers that are protecting Azure. Then we have software as a service or platform as a service. And platform as a service is similar to software as a service. Let's talk about software as a service first. Provides a solution in a box. This can be Exchange Online, Skype for Business, or SharePoint, for example. They're controlled by Microsoft and it's Office 365. The hardware and upkeep is the responsibility of Microsoft. They have an SLA, which is a service level agreement, and you pay a subscription fee to use the environment. So the example for Office 365, the SLA, is 99.9%. And we'll talk about this in another video. Then PaaS, or Platform as a Service, is similar to Software as a Service. Provides the development world a way to rapidly deploy websites and web services. And it's provided without the need to buy and maintain the software and infrastructure that's underneath it. So how does this apply to Office 365? So what is Office 365? It's a software as a service. It's actually hosted on Azure. So what is Azure? It's a Hyper-V environment. When you sign up for your subscription, an environment's created for you. There are actually 4 main components of Office 365 environment. It consists of Exchange Online. If you don't know what Exchange is, this is where 90% of the email you receive comes from. It's Microsoft Premier Mail System. This is one of the reasons that 85% of the Fortune 500 companies are currently using Office 365. The current version of it is Exchange Server 2016. So one of the advantages of switching to Exchange Online is licensing. You don't have to worry about paying a license fee. It's included in your subscription. Also, you don't have to worry about the hardware upkeep. There are more advantages that we'll talk about later. Then we have Skype for Business. And everybody knows about Skype. This is your communication side of the business. Do you use WebEx or GoToPC? Then you'll save money by using Skype for Business. This is our conferencing piece. We have the ability of holding meetings, both online, also audio conferencing. We can replace your on-premises PBX with a cloud PBX and so much more. Then we have Office 365 Pro Plus. How many times have you gone and purchased a new Office product? When you buy an Office product, you're paying about $800 a pop for Office Pro Plus. When you sign up for a subscription to Office 365, you get 5 licenses per user in some subscription like the E3 and E5, for example, which we'll talk about that later on. So if you look at the savings, that's about $4,000 that you save. Plus you get updated automatically when the newest versions come out. Also updates are applied automatically in the background. There's so much more that you can get with Office 365. We'll explore more of this later. Then you have SharePoint server. So SharePoint Online is a Microsoft SharePoint server. It's a collaboration tool. Some really cool looking SharePoint sites. Then you can do a search for SharePoint sites. Have you ever gone to Ferrari.com? Maybe you're looking at buying a Ferrari. Well, this is a SharePoint site. And SharePoint is a CMS, which is a content management system. It's similar to Joomla and WordPress. The information that's updated is stored in a database. For SharePoint, this is configuration information stored in SQL Server. SharePoint Online is used for intranet sites. And this means internal websites. This is where we can store our documents and other objects that we can use in business. You may have heard of OneDrive Personal and OneDrive for Business. These are part of SharePoint environment. Then we have Azure AD. This is Active Directory, Azure Active Directory. It's a directory service that's used to configure security for the Office 365 environment. The directory service is just a database of users and devices that have access to some resources. So Azure AD is different from Active Directory, if you've ever heard of Active Directory. What Active Directory is based on lightweight directory protocol. And with Azure AD, it's based on REST API, which is web-based. And we'll talk about this in another discussion for another video. So let's take a look at signing up for an Office 365 subscription and starting our journey. So many Office 365 subscriptions, there's many flavors and different of Office 365. Many different subscription levels for Office 365, and the one that I'm going to be focusing on is the enterprise subscriptions. Most of the people watching this video have a company, so they want to know, what do I get? So if we look at Office 365 Pro Plus, This is what you get when you purchase Office from a store. So you go to Best Buy. They have on the shelf Office 365. When you purchase Office 365, you're purchasing Office 365 Pro Plus. So you can see from the slide that you do not get email. Office 365 E1 and Enterprise is the first version that includes email. This one allows you to store up to 50 gigs of email. Not bad for a price of coffee at Starbucks. Guess what the price is? It's $8 per user per month. Office 365 E3 Enterprise includes all the features of unlimited email storage, email archiving, and so much more. Office 365 E5 Enterprise is the Cadillac of Office 365 Enterprise versions, including everything from E3 plus conferencing features such as audio conferencing, cloud PBX, and so much more. So you need to weigh the differences between the plans and pick what will fit into your budget and also fits into your environment. We looked at the different plans that are available in Office 365. So we need to compare them and see how they fit into our environment. This is where it's important to sit down with your management team and evaluate each aspect of Office 365 process. First question we need to ask is, why do we need Office 365? You need to look at your business requirements. What are we trying to accomplish with going to the cloud? How are people going to react to the cloud environment? What is the time frame that we want to transition? What are additional components do we want to include with Office 365 environment? This is a very important step because it could be the step that helps the project to succeed or fail. Next, you need to examine your current IT environment. You need to understand what you have, your environment, how will it correlate to Office 365. Most cases, a lot of companies are looking to use Office 365 Exchange Online as opposed to Exchange On-Premise. You need to examine your environment and compare it with O365. Another video will look at how we can migrate to Office 365 from Exchange Online. We can also migrate other parts of the environment to Office 365. So we need to understand what is there. Change management is another aspect that we need to examine within our environment. Do you have a standard change management process in place? We sometimes call this the blame game. You did this on this date, and this is why this happened. There needs to be checks and balances in place. So you need to examine your environment and make sure you have those processes. And that's where you go and sit down with your management, which I call the check writers. As long as they write my check, they can do whatever they want. As you know, most organizations are going to grow, so you need to take this into consideration. There are different calculators that are out there that you can use to predict what size the environment you will need. Office 365 trial comes with 25 users, and you can get more if you need them. You just have to ask Microsoft. They're there to help you along your way. They will hold your hand and walk you step through step for a price. So let's sign up for Office 365 subscription. It's a pretty simple process. Let's look at a quick overview. First, we select a plan. Remember the different subscriptions? Well, we're going to select a subscription that has the requirements we need. And that's why it's very important to go through the planning phase. We need to have an external email address that's connected to the subscription. We can create a new Outlook account, and you have to have a unique address connect to the Office 365 account. You can use your business, but then it will be linked to the subscription. You won't be able to link another subscription to that account. We'll go ahead and click the trial link, and this will start the process. So we enter our company information, and this includes our name, first name, last name, address, city, state, zip. And then we'll also have to enter a company phone number in and contact email. And what we'll do is we'll decide on what our environment's going to be called. By default, what you'll have is on Microsoft.com will be part of your UPN. Then we need to validate the sign-up. So you validate, they'll send you a text message to your mobile phone or call you. Let's make sure that you're an actual person and not a bot. Congratulations, you're now signed up for an Office 365 account. It's going to take a couple minutes for the process to finish, and then you'll have access to the account. They're the one in charge. You're the global admin, and you'll end up doing all the setup, everything in the environment. Now, later on, what you can do is you can delegate responsibility to someone else. That way you can go and play golf, because that's really what you want to do, right? Okay, so the environment is now created. You want to start adding users and configuring your new environment. You're excited, but where do you start? Well, O365 can be administered in different ways. We have the O365 portal, and this is a web-based. It includes admin centers for Exchange, SharePoint, Skype for Business, just to name a few. Of course, with any new product from Microsoft, we have Windows PowerShell, and so does Azure PowerShell, and so we have to also install some prerequisites before we can connect to our O365 environment through PowerShell. We'll talk about this in another video. Azure AD module is a library of commandlets and can be used to manage the Azure AD part of the environment. We'll have another video on this also. And then you can also set up users as delegated administrators so that you're not doing all of this yourself. We use a process called RBAC, which is Role-Based Access Control. This was introduced in Exchange Server 2010. So if you're familiar with 2010 or later, then you'll understand RBAC. But we'll have another video on this so we can take you step by step through it. So there are different tools that we can use to manage Office 365 environment. Looks like a lot of work, which it is, but it's also fun. Let's go ahead and take a look at this in a more in-depth look at it. So what I've done is gone over to office.com. Let's go back and I can show you this. You have products here. You just click on products and you go to enterprise. And then compare plans and pricing. Once you're there, you'll notice we have our different ones. Office 365 Pro Plus, $12 a month. Enterprise E1, $8 a month. Office 365 Enterprise E3 and E5. Now, you'll notice that the price goes up. The reason is because of the different services or different things that we get that are included with each of the different subscriptions. Like E1 gives us email, but it doesn't give us Office 365 Pro Plus. O365 Pro Plus gives us Office products that we can download and install up to 5 devices, but it doesn't, in E1, it doesn't give you that. It gives you the online versions that we have available for Office 365, and we'll look at those later on. So we got Office 365 Enterprise E3, which gives you unlimited email, also archiving, and a bunch of other features, including protection and voicemail integration. And then we got E5, and this is Cadillac, like I said. It's at $35 a month, but you're getting Office 365 Pro Plus, all the features of E1, all the features of E3, plus you're getting audio conferencing, you have Cloud PBX, and there's a bunch of other features that are included with the E5. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here, and we're going to select a new trial. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a new email address. So we're going to go to outlook.com. Okay, once we're in Outlook.com, then we're going to go ahead and create an account. And we just select a new one, call this demo. Something unique. And then we just put in a password that we want to use. And I'm going to pause and just finish this off. Once you put everything in, you just create account. And you just wait until it's finished. Select your time zone, which I'm here in Florida. Nice sunny Florida. Hopefully you guys are having good weather. And then we can customize it, all that stuff. So I'm going to pause this while paint dries. Okay, we're ready to go. So let's go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back over to our Office 365 and click on the free trial link. And then we just put in our information that we want. So you select which country you're in. Then we put in the information here. I'm going to do Mickey Mouse here. And the business email address is going to be Mickey at, actually I'll just do Michael at Idea Dudes Training. And then we put in any phone number. And then the company name. And then your organization size. We'll say we have 50 to 249 people, which is a small little company. Now we're going to put in what is our email, which is going to be ideadudestest@onmicrosoft.com. And then we just put in the password that we want and create my account. And then what it's going to do is it's going to say, hey, we need to make sure you're not a robot. So I'm going to go ahead and text. I'm going to pause this for a second. I clicked on text me, and it's going to send me a text to my mobile phone. And I'm going to put the verification code in. Then click on Next. And we just wait for it. In the military, we say, hoo-ha. So it's telling you to save this information for later. Wait for it. So it's Mickey at ideadudestest.onmicrosoft.com. You're ready to go. And what's going to happen is it's going to start setting up your environment. So you can see setting up. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video so you don't have to wait for it. And once everything's set up, then we'll go in and look at our administration for our Office 365. As you see, that's still going through the process. It will take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, could be an hour, all depends on how many people are trying to sign up at the same time. So we'll pause again, and I'll bring you back in, and we'll finish off the process. Okay, so you can see that a lot of the apps are getting set up. So let's go ahead and take a look at where can we administer this. So we go into admin. And like I said, when you sign up for Office 365, you're a global admin, so you do everything. And so you can see we have a home tab, and you can see what's going on here. We can go into our support to get support set up. We have our health, so we can see service health. So it can give us an overall feel of what's going on. Everything seems to be working correctly. Let's go back up here and look and see that the active users, we have one right now. So if we go ahead and click on them, we can see his product licenses, which is Office 365. And so what we do is add additional ones here. And then down here, when we get into our admin centers, this is where we can manage Exchange or Skype for Business, Yammer, which is a Facebook for Microsoft, Power Apps, which deals with SQL Server, Flow, Security and Compliance, and Azure AD. And so these are different areas that we'll have, and also SharePoint will be on here too. So you go back over here and you can see that we still have Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, setting up OneDrive, setting up SharePoint, still setting up Word. But these are the different apps. And we can come over here and you can see the different apps too that have already been set up. And so that's an introduction to Office 365. You can see it's not a very hard process to get set up, and there's a lot that you can do with Office 365. So where do you go from here? Well, there's an MCSA Office 365 that we offer, and this helps you to get certified in Office 365. There's actually two tests, 70-346 and 347. We also have the MCSE Windows Server 2012 R2. We have MCSE Productivity Bootcamp, which that's the new certification, which includes Exchange and SharePoint, and there's so different ways that you can take. And stay tuned for planning a pilot O365 deployment. If you need our help, we can also help you to get started with Office 365. We can help you to migrate your Exchange server, users over, your public folders, SharePoint, and a bunch of other things. So learn how to get started or training for free. Ask about our free brochure. So thank you for joining us on this video series on Office 365. You can email us at sales@ideadudestraining.com. Also call us at 1-888-512-3450. You can visit us on the web at www.ideadudestraining.com. If you want to become an affiliate, we're also offering you that ability that you can make money by recommending us for training and for consulting and other things like that. Thank you for joining us, and look forward to seeing you in our next video. Have a great day, a great weekend, a great week whenever you listen to this, and we'll see you in the future. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye for now.